Hello and welcome to the Marky Worthington Comedy Podcast. This is episode 12 and I'm joined here with Benny Eggs. How you doing, man?
Hey, good brother. Thanks for having us. I'm excited. Pumped.
Yeah, it's good to have you on the show, dude. We've been kicking around the scene for a little bit and I've had a couple other of our mutual friends on the show. I had Kai and Bill on the show before, man. It's good to have you here.
Fucking man, glad, man. It looks like you're working your way through the crew comedy cats, man, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's it. We just got to get Jacob Keed and we should be right.
Yeah, mate, you'll have all four of us there, mate, and you'll be the most fucking diverse podcast in all of Canberra. How about that, mate? Yeah.
I'd like to do something maybe down the track where we have like all four of you and do like a video thing.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. That'd be great because, like, for us, Aboriginal comedy is really unique, you know. It's similar to when you go into America and you look at the way, I guess, the African Americans and the Black Americans joke about their own community, their culture, and it can be pretty intense, you know. It's the same with Aboriginal people, man. Like the way that we joke, the way that we relate. You know, I do a joke, and this is where I was kind of my signature joke when I was starting off, and I was called Kung Fu Benny, and I was talking about how like my mum used to like flog me, and all my elders used to flog me so much that I developed my own kung fu, you know, and how you dodge broomsticks and jug cords and belts and all that shit, man. But there's white people in the audience who are like, oh my God, where was child safety when this was happening? You know, like, where's family services? You poor thing. Whereas black fellas in the audience are like, motherfucker, that was Tuesday for me, you know. You know what I mean? So we have a really unique way of joking about our upbringing that's kind of different and awesome.
Yeah, man, it makes for good content, man. We've seen a bunch of shows coming out with the Deadly Funny and all that sort of stuff, and that's always good, man. It's good to get that extra side of comedy. A lot of the time, like you said, this unique content, stuff that's relatable, you know, stuff like that, man. And part of comedy is being relatable. And if you didn't grow up like that, you might not understand it. But then you have like four people in the crowd that will that was their childhood and they're rolling around laughing. They know exactly what it's like. Yeah,
and you want to, like, you know, we have things that are specific, like, you know, we have things like treaty and we have a past with our Commonwealth, you know, and that's a tragic and traumatic, and there's still stuff we still got to deal with today with as a result of you know, kind of like constitutional recognition and treaty, trying to get the government to sign. We do occupy 51% of the juvenile detention centres. We occupy 26% of the fucking adult population, but we only make up 2.8% of the population. Why can't we talk about this? You know, we have a whole bunch of things around the forced removal of like children being removed from the care of their parents at an astronomical rate even today. So we have these really extreme statistics in our culture and community, and although they're not joking matters, it produces, I believe, that in that upbringing, that militant black upbringing, it produces this style of comedy that we can talk about the extreme stuff, man, and find it funny.
Yeah, well, a lot of the time there might be comedy in extreme situations, you know, or another thing that happens, and I've seen this a lot in the scene, is people use comedy to deal with situations that aren't so easy to deal with.
Yep.
It adds an extra element to it as like a coping mechanism.
Yep.
So obviously if you've got like issues in your past, things like that, and then you bring it onto the stage, it's kind of like therapy for some people, man.
Man, for me, was comedy origins for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I was just like a mad funny prick, you know. For me, it was just like I need an outlet for the pressure. I need an outlet for this. And people are like, you're pretty funny, man. You know, you're pretty funny. And I was like, shit, maybe we should just do stand-up. I mean, I grew up idolising stand-up comedians and then thought, shit, why don't I try it? And roll the dice. It just happened that our worlds collided and it worked.
Yeah, well, where'd you start stand-up? I know before you came to Canberra, you were in Sydney before.
Yeah, so I've been doing stand-up for many years now, 6-7 years. Mm-hmm. So started in Sydney, origins for me, and I went into a competition, and all the audience had to vote on who won. So my business brain clicked in and made sure that majority of the audience were people I knew. So, so you know what I mean? Like, and so I like to say that I won, but I wouldn't say that I won fairly. But I went on there, did a few rounds, won the competition, and I think that I was funny as well. But it just kicked off from there, and then there were promoters there who kind of said, "Hey, I like your stuff. Do you want to come and do a show?" And then after about a year, I realised, shit, I'm going to have to grind at this and work and figure out how to write funnier stuff. Because times change. What I used to joke about back then, I can't joke about today. That's a significant thing. Comedy is an organic, moving thing that you need to understand what's trending, the times, be in tune, be woke.
Yeah,
understand the super woke community and those who are just fucking ignorant, rat's tail looking dudes who have pretty extreme right wing views.
Yep.
And understanding those and working in the grey areas is the real skill, man.
Yeah, well, that's it, man. It's like it's very fluid with the way that it works.
Yep.
And like you said, man, the rat's tail is not a very fluid hair choice.
No,
it doesn't move with the times.
No, bro. Listen, straight up, man. If you got a rat's tail, don't come up to me and talk to me, man. Unless you're like a UFC fighter, I feel like they're the only guys you give a fuck a free pass to a rat's tail. But if a dude comes up to me looking for conversation with a rat's tail, I feel like it's just. We're not going to have a lot in common, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it minuses like 3 points.
Yeah,
yeah.
Bro,
like
yeah.
if you've like even if you're a monk and you believe in everything, but you've got a rat's tail, like if you chuck a rat's tail on a monk, all of a sudden no one's going to be listening to him like Gandhi,
Fucking OP.
If you chucked a rat's tail on Gandhi, all of a sudden they'd start questioning everything he ever said.
Man, if I saw a rat's tail on Gandhi, I was like, this motherfucker pushes weight in the background somewhere, man. He's like, I know you. I see you, man. Coming out here trying to be a public servant, but that rat's tail takes it all away. You're affiliated with either bikies or
you got
some
something going on.
Yeah, Yakazu or some shit like that, man. So the rat's tail just undoes everything, man.
Evidently, though, if you had the rat's tail on the front with just like the single like line of hair, it's like a ancient, script writer or something.
Yeah, bro. If I saw a dude with a rat's tail plaited at the front, for me, firstly, I would be like, what arts is he into?
Yep.
Like, is he, is he in the creative arts, or is he a painter, or is he all of them?
Yeah.
I would have a lot of questions for that dude, to be honest, man. Question the friendship circle that he has.
Yep. Upbringing, all that sort of stuff.
All of it, man. Because, real friends will give you the thumbs up, man. So if you walked out of the house with your rat's tail at the front of your fucking face, I would need to question, like, not just him, his friend and family base.
Yeah.
Because somebody
that caught through the crack. Yeah. He slipped through the net with that. Yeah.
Somebody gave him the sign of approval to say, bro, this is cool.
Yeah.
Those people I need to look into, man.
That's true, man. Like, how many times have you tried something out for the first time? You got a new outfit or something, new hat, something like that, and someone's just like, bro, I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, man, bro. I can remember.
New car, have you ever got new rims on your car or something?
Yeah, man. You just totally got put in the fucking wanker space, man.
New song that you like?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you tried to rip it out, man, and you can't because it goes against all your belief systems, I had that the other day, man. I was like in the shop because I've spent my career bagging out Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And then there was a song that came on and she was like auto-tuned.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, that's how she got me, right? And the song come on and I was like, man, who's this? I like the beat. Fucking Shazammed it, bro. Taylor Swift. And my mate was like, who is it, man? Who is it? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I can't get reception here, bro. Fucking had to kill it and delete it real quick, just... and
just throw your phone in the river, yeah.
Yeah, but throw my phone in the river, burn it, lit it up. So there's some shit, man, that you just can't, like, you got to stick to your guns on, man, and bury it. But I remember once getting my hair straightened.
Yeah.
And I tried to do it myself with my wife's GHD, which apparently is like a top brand straightener.
Yeah, that's legit. Yeah, I know.
So we don't fuck around, man. We get quality. So I tried it, and basically it looked like I looked like Sideshow Bob, but with my hair pasted down.
Yeah.
And bro, it was so bad, and I just walked around with it. And then my friends were like, "Hey man, what's up with the hair?" And I was like, "Oh man, it's just trying something new." And I knew that by their question, I'd made a mistake. That I could never undo. and that is something that they will have in their pouch forever.
Yeah, they can't unsee it now.
They can't unsee it. It's ammunition, man. It's a silver bullet. It's like, oh, you remember that one time Benny tried a hair straightener? And straight away, man, I could shiv someone in jail. I could be the toughest motherfucker in the world. But if my friend pops out behind me and says, "Hey, remember that time Benny used a hair straightener?" That's it. It just cancels out that hardcore act, man.
Yeah,
like
dude. It's like when you feel them fly, like if you've got like a new suit or something like that.
Yeah, man.
It only takes one person to be like, "What's up with the suit?" and you go home and burn it.
Because there's questions, man.
Yeah.
There's questions where, like people are like genuinely are interested.
Yeah.
And then, there are questions that are like, man, your whole world's about to fall apart if you answer this incorrectly.
Yeah, dude. I remember when I first moved into my first house, when I moved out, on my own.
Yep.
I didn't have much stuff in the house, because I went from like a bedroom to a house, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
And I had this girl over for the first time, and she walks in, she goes, "Do you always live here?" It's like, because there was like literally like a lounge chair, coffee table, fridge with like a 6-pack in it, and a bed. That's it.
That's it,
that's all I had.
Yeah, straight up.
And do you always live here?
Yeah, and you knew straight up, man, there was no fucking banging that night, man.
It wasn't. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man, she needed more to be impressed,
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I'd be unimpressed if anything happened, because that means that like she didn't respect herself.
Yeah, bro.
If she hangs out with a dude with that little in his house,
yeah, man,
then like she needs to lift her standards a little bit.
Yeah, bro. I'd like to flip it up like this, man. If that woman makes you go out and buy a bed and buy groceries and that's the woman you marry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean. That's the woman you marry.
What's the fixture?
Yeah, man. Where by one question it makes you absolutely change and challenge your whole fucking view on life.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, okay, shit, I need like celery in my fridge, man. That's the woman you marry, man. That's the formula, bro.
Yeah, if it makes you be a better person, then that's gonna always make you that next cut above. Yeah,
yeah, straight
like
up.
If you
man.
get too comfortable, that's not going to be good for you in the long run, is it?
Yeah, no way, man. I think like if my wife's calling me the C-bomb, that's good, man. It keeps me on my toes. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, you know what I mean?
It keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, it keeps me on my toes, man. You know, I don't even know. I could tell by the tone, the pitch, like all of that, the variation. What was that? Oh, you C-bomb. Okay, sounds like I'd left some clothes on the floor.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, oh, you C-bomb. All right. That shouldn't have spent that $400 at the casino,
It's never the thing that you just did. It's the thing that you did yesterday which never got mentioned.
Yeah,
and it's
right.
just boils up into this one thing.
Man.
You get like if that ever happens, you got to question your last 24 hours of your life and see where you messed up.
I call it my Waylon Wall, bro. Like everyone goes overseas, man, goes at Waylon Wall and just prays and wails on the wall, man. For me, that is just a brick of all my mistakes that my wife makes me face on the regular, man. And I wail, bro. I wail,
The whale wall back to Gandhi again there.
Back to Gandhi and his fucking Yakazoo plat, man.
His thug life tattoos.
Thug life, man.
Yeah.
How crazy. I love that, man. I think there's something there with that. Rat's tails make everything.
I reckon, yeah. The -3 points, that's pretty much all it does.
But rat's tails and nose rings, and I know you're rocking one, man.
I'm rocking one, yeah.
But it's the bull nose ring.
You mean the middle one? Yeah.
The bull nose ring, man. Because I feel like for me, that's a solid, like, check this out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So if I'm talking to anyone, especially like anyone with like a bull nose ring, I'm staring at it the whole time.
The whole time.
And I want them to know that I'm staring at it. I want them to feel like I've rep it, you know. You wanted my attention, man. You got it,
You got it now.
Everything. I'm going to answer it and then look at your nose ring. I want you to know I appreciate it. You know?
Yeah, you ever seen the one that goes between the eyes there, just on the top
Oh,
of the nose?
I have, man. I have. Yeah, on Star Trek.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Man, it even looks like the people that get that look at it themselves. Like,
Yeah.
if you ever see someone with one of those, it looks like they're just constantly cross-eyed now.
Yeah, man.
They can't stop looking at it.
Bro, there's something about when you're talking to someone and if their eyes keep gravitating, there's something on you. It builds like self-consciousness in you, man. I was like, I'd like this week been in training and everything, and I'd noticed people kept looking at my crutch, and I was like, man, like not all stereotypes about black people are true, man. So it wasn't like they were, you know, fucking like mad giving me the likes. I went home and realised this morning when I went to put on my jeans, I had a massive hole in it. So these people had been subject to the fucking trauma of my crutch all week. And I was so embarrassed, man, by that. And you know what I mean? So, you know, it's not that I look at things to be like trying to make people self-conscious, but I'm like, if you're going to put steel in your face and then try and talk to me about political science.
Like it's not there, you know?
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and act like you haven't got a fucking bar in your face, man. You know?
Dude, it would be like me not pretending I have a beard, you know? If I just said to someone, like, if someone said to you, like, oh, that's not... Like, I've had people not even say what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They'll walk up and say, man, I like that. And I'll be like what?
I was working, like, my first job when I come out of high school. I grew up in Mount Isa, man. So this shit old mining town.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I'm
I
from
know Mount
Queensland, man. But mad love to it. I love it. I won't say shit old. But the first job I ever got outside of, like, the bakery, my dad hooked me up with one of his mates and said, can you interview him? And this guy got into a fight and the person took a bit of chunk out of his nose. So his nose looked funny because someone bit a chunk out of his nose. And
Bit it?
Yeah, man.
That's gnarly, dude. What, they fucking bit
Just
it?
bit a chunk out of his nose, man.
Oh,
Just bit it out. And my dad was like, oh, you're going to go in for an interview with so-and-so? It's like, don't look at his nose. Someone bit a chunk out of his nose and it's really self-conscious.
It's good of him to give you the heads up.
Yeah,
though.
man.
Imagine if he just didn't say anything.
Absolutely, man. But what do you think I fucking looked at, man?
Oh, you
The whole
wouldn't have
time,
stopped, yeah.
You know, this dude had a bite out of his nose. So I was looking at the goddamn thing the whole time, you know, and that to me, bro.
Did it have the bite mark?
Yeah, it had like, and then it looked like some shitty Mount Isa doctor tried to put skin graft on it, man, you know?
off his butt cheek.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
it's like, and let's all act like that's not there, man. Let's just buy into this friggin', you know, illusion that looks like a normal nose. Like, it wasn't, man. It wasn't the case.
He took Michael Jackson's nose and put it on this
Yeah,
leg.
bro. This dude made Michael Jackson look fucking normal, man.
Oh,
you know?
shit.
It was off chops. But I was like mad for the heads up, but I think, like, that's my dad. And my dad's, like, I've got two dads, right? They're both funny dudes. They're not comedians. But they have this weird way of looking at the world that's hilarious. And that's what made sort of, that was them in a nutshell. And so my dad would make this really whacked up story about a dude with a bitten nose to put pressure on me, because in his head he's going to think it's absolutely funny that one of his good mates and sons sitting in a room and they're all self-conscious about the one nose.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah. Oh, but it's good on, like I said, good on the heads up, man. I know that sometimes in interviews it's already awkward as it is. Imagine just having to be in one where you just like get that sprung on you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I reckon that's pretty good, man. We'll wrap it up with we'll get some dates out. What do you got coming up?
Look, bro, we've got coming up, and let me check my phone for this. We have got the Corey Comedy Showcase, which is killer. Now that is on the. Oh, here we go. Sorry, man.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Corey Comedy Showcase. Here we go. We got the 19th of March.
Yep.
And it's at tickets available online. So you could definitely get tickets online. Go to Facebook and just type in Corey Comedy Showcase, and you'll see us fantastic guys standing up there just ready to rip it up.
Yep.
I would love to have an Aboriginal female comedian, man, in the Corey Comedy Showcase in the year to come.
Yeah.
So it would just be great to see, Deadly Funnies 2021, bring through a strong Aboriginal female comedian, man. because they got a lot to play with. They're female and they're Aboriginal.
Yeah.
So it would be cool. But look, let's say for the Crew Comedy Showcase, it is a bit sausage heavy, but we'll be there, man, showing love about the culture. Get out and about March-ish, April, we'll be filming my actual 1 hour special in Sydney.
Oh, nice.
And it's This Is Australia.
Yep.
I've been writing this for about 2 years. Finally got the nuts to get up and film it and fucking put it out there and produce it. We got...
Do you know where you're going to do that?
Yeah, so we're going to do it in a cafe in Redfern, and
Yep.
we'll release those dates once all the everything's been signed, sealed, and delivered. But we're just talking about Australia, man, through the eyes of an Aboriginal person. We're going to look at a lot of the political stuff, and have an open and honest conversation about Australia through the eyes of an Aboriginal.
Yeah, rad. That'll be sick, man.
Yeah,
I'm keen to see how that all rolls out.
Yeah, great, man.
That was the first half of the Benny Eggmolesse episode. Thank you for listening so far. And before we go, I've got a couple of dates to announce between now and the next episode. So on the 26th of Feb at the Boardwalk, we've got the 1 year anniversary of the open mic there. So head on down to the Boardwalk in Belconnen from 8 o'clock to see that one. And on Friday the 28th, I'll be doing my guest spot on Local and Live. So tune into 98.3 2XX FM from 4:30 onwards to hear me on that one. And then we've got Smith's Alternative open mic. So that's Sunday the 1st of March from 7 p.m. Thanks for listening, and remember to like, subscribe and share the podcast. And stay tuned for the second half of this episode. Thank you.